It only took 9 days for the Taliban to reverse 20 years of the brutal US occupation of Afghanistan, and a lot of people are asking themselves, what was the last 20 years for? I mean, let's just take a look at what we've lost here. Over 150,000 Afghans dead, over 6,000 Americans dead, many thousands more coming home without arms, without legs, without eyes, and with PTSD. So far, the US has spent $2 trillion on the war, but when you include the interest that's still accruing on these loans, that number is going to skyrocket to $6 trillion. With $6 trillion, you could pay off all US student loan debt, all US credit card debt, all US auto loan debt, and end homelessness for 113 years straight. The US occupation and bombardment wiped out practically a generation of people, destroyed vital infrastructure, and subjected a whole political system to the whims of the West, which meant that it essentially had no legitimacy in the eyes of the Afghan people. We were told that we had to do this because there was this massive terrorist threat that if we didn't get bin Laden, our very way of life would be at stake. But this literally makes no sense. Like, why attack Afghanistan when not a single one of the 9/11 hijackers was Afghani? If getting bin Laden was so important, why did the US refuse to negotiate with the Taliban, who were offering to hand over bin Laden if the US could provide evidence of his guilt? Not to mention, the US had no problem funding and arming the Taliban's predecessor groups when they shared a common enemy, the formerly socialist government of Afghanistan. They even dedicated the end of Rambo 3 to them. So it was never about fighting terrorism or protecting democracy. The Bush administration was literally planning to invade Afghanistan even before 9/11. They wanted to install a US puppet leader who would hand over all of the resources to US corporations and convert the country into a staging ground for the larger imperial project. The Pentagon has dominated our foreign policy for the last 2 decades, but every war they start creates more problems than solutions, and all the wars they start end up being based on lies. Not to mention, they're literally controlled by a for-profit weapons industry that profits off of every bullet fired. Do you think they have any interest in ending wars? Of course not. Or if they do, it's because they're gearing up for the next one.